Right now, it is easier than ever to move to Mexico. So in this video, I'm going to explain why, if you're thinking about doing this, now is the time to take action. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, I'm back. I have been just living my best, most beautiful life, and so I'm not online as much as I used to be, but I'm getting back into it because YouTube has been so good to me. I wouldn't be where I am today in my life, physically or mentally, spiritually, if it weren't for YouTube. So I am getting back into making more videos. I left my entire life, my entire old personality of being depressed and vitamin D deficient, being the kind of person who doesn't like traveling, who, is a homebody, who wants to live in one place for the rest of my life. I gave that up when I had to make a very crucial choice about the trajectory of my life after my marriage ended. So I did what felt completely right to me and still feels like one of the best decisions I've ever made, and I moved to Mexico. Honestly, this was something that I would have thought I could not do. I would think that I wasn't the right person, or that it was way too difficult, or that it was dangerous, or I didn't have enough money, whatever it was. But here I am thriving better than I ever have before. So if you're interested or you're thinking about it, this video is for you. I have a bunch of other videos I made about living in Mexico that I'll link here, you can check out. So the first reason why, if you're thinking about moving to Mexico, you should do it now, is because recently in a lot of different places, the travel restrictions have lifted so that the medical discrimination is no longer in place and people are able to travel. Now, when it comes to travel restrictions, you want to look at the history of the places that you're going to. Mexico imposed 0 travel restrictions. Mexico was one of only 4 countries in the world that imposed 0 travel restrictions during the past 2 years. In fact, if you came to visit a hotel in Mexico and you're supposed to leave and you tested positive, the hotel would give you a free stay while you did your you-know-what time. But in general, if you live somewhere where travel restrictions were imposed and have now been lifted, look at history, look throughout all of history, and see if there's ever been a time where a government has taken away its people's rights and then just gave it back. And it stayed like that. No, it's usually a test run, right? That's what they do. They're like, okay, what can we get away with? What will the people accept? Let's try this. And once it works, they're like, okay, we're on the edge of revolt. Okay, we'll give them a little bit of something back. And then the next time it comes, it's gonna hit even harder. That's what history has shown us now. I am open to the idea that we're in a different era, that things are changing. But I'm also a bit of a realist, and I'm like, if they did it before, they're probably going to do it again, and it will be worse next time. And I know when I was under lockdown in Calgary in my little apartment, hearing people cry through the walls at night and hearing people losing their minds in the street. I have some videos here, I'll link, about how horrible my life was. I was on the brink of mental, physical, spiritual, emotional devastation. And I made a decision to completely, radically change my life, which, as you all know, starts with the mind, the thoughts we're thinking. But my point is, if you want to get away from the country you're living in, you've seen the writing on the wall, you've seen what they've done, and you know that they might do it again. The borders of Mexico are open. We welcome you. The second reason why, if you're thinking about moving to Mexico, now is the time to do it, is all the talk and what we're seeing with inflation and food shortages. So the thing about inflation is, here in Mexico, the US or Canadian dollar goes way, way further than it does in the cold, frozen north where I came from. So here I have a beautiful life. I have a really, really cute apartment in the best part of town with access to restaurants, parks, my martial arts studio, Sam's Club, Walmart, luxury shopping, little taco stands, mom and pop joints. And I get all of this for the price that I would pay for parking alone in Calgary to live miserably driving through traffic every day, vitamin D deprived. There will be no food shortages in Mexico. The president here has even addressed to the people that if that even were to be a concern, that they would stop exporting food, because where do you think all your food's coming from? You know, a lot of it comes from here where I'm living, right down the street, around the corner. Like, there's farms, organic farms, there's tons of rural land. It's right by the ocean. There is fruit and flowers just dripping off the trees outside my house, all along the streets that I walk down, in all the parks. The food is abundant, widely available, and there is a real attitude of community here. I shared a cute little story on my Instagram about how almost 6 months ago, when I was living back in Montana in my old miserable life, how I had purchased some tamarinds in a box from the store, and they were just covered in sugar, right? You can't buy just normal tamarinds in the United States that I was able to find. And I remember eating them, and the other person saying, oh, these tamarinds are good, but there's so much sugar. And I remember saying, well, this is what we've got to deal with. When would I ever have the opportunity to just pick a tamarind off the tree and eat it? Here I am 5 months after that, and I did exactly that. You know, I was out with my friend. He's like, hey, that's a tamarind tree. You can go get some if you want. So I just went and picked them off, and we ate them, and they were so good. And then we're driving, and he's like, hey, do you want some coconuts? So we just like took this little back road and went to this, like, honestly, I'm talking, you know, from the United States or Canada point of view, multi-million dollar view property right on the ocean. Nobody around for miles. Goats and, you know, cows and some little chickens and stuff running around, and a bunch of just like little old ladies living there in these little huts, these beautiful huts, and they're just harvesting coconuts and sell them. And then we're driving. He's like, oh yeah, this guy has watermelons. So we stopped there to get a watermelon. There is no food shortages in Mexico. And the third and final reason why, if you're thinking about Mexico, now is the time to move, is because it's easier to get temporary or permanent residency here now than it ever has been. So if you've been looking into it, you know that they keep increasing the requirements in order to get your permanent or temporary residency here. So right now it's something like $45,000 in savings, and like you have to be able to show that you've been making $4,000 a month for the past year or something like that, along with all of the red tape and bureaucracy that comes along with that. You guys know I don't like doing stuff through the government the hard way, but here I am, you know. I'll be getting my 4-year temporary soon, and I'll have my work visa soon. There's a program that's running right now. It's called regularization. So all you need are 3 things. And this is such an amazing opportunity. So you need an expired tourist visa. You're applying for this from inside the country, okay? You have to have been in Mexico sometime prior to 2022. So if you like went to a wedding or something like that, or a vacation, like at any time, they have it in the computer system. And 3, you have to pay the fee, which is about $600 USD. And then you get a little green card with your face and your smiling ID on it that you are a resident in Mexico for the next 4 years. And then after that, it's very, very easy to get your permanent. You just apply for your permanent and you're good to go. You live here, just like me. I live here now. If you're kind of curious and you want to just kind of maybe check it out, get a feel for it, talk to people who actually live here, see what it's like with your boots on the ground, I'm going to be doing retreats soon. This will probably be in about a month or a month and a half from now. You guys know I love working in person with people, and I haven't posted a lot about it online. I usually just have these amazing events and just take a picture or 2 and that's it. But I think it would be a crime if I didn't have retreats here in Mexico. So watch for that. If you're interested and you might be interested in attending, click below, send me an email with retreat in the subject line, and I'll add you to the list to notify you when those spots become available. I thought that would be a great thing for me to do. Like once I get my work permit, I don't want to be doing work that's going to take away from the Mexican people. I want to do work that only I can do and that will bring prosperity to my local community. You can see my beautiful petunia is still in bloom. Even though I have been so blessed to still be making passive income online from YouTube, despite how little work I put into it, is mind-blowing to me. That YouTube can pay my rent, or half of my rent at least, here in Mexico. But I mean, I work in coding and making websites, which I've done for the past 20 years for myself. But when I came here, I'm like, what kind of remote work could I do? And I have really begun like expanding out and trying new things in remote work so that I can report back to you guys what actually works and what's good. I love spreading wealth, the ideas of financial freedom, self-sufficiency, and pulling money out of the ether, feeling like you're valuable in this world, just throwing off that sense of value and existing and being cared and provided for by the universe. I saw a quote the other day that the opposite of poverty is dignity, and that really resounded for me. I grew up in poverty. Right? We lived on handouts from the government and borrowing from the neighbors. But for me, I was lucky in one aspect, and that was that my subconscious mind got imprinted with the idea that I could always make money in easy and quick ways, and that I could always make money in a lasting way, and that money was always available to me, and that I had good ideas, and that people liked my ideas, and that people bought my things, right? So that is in my subconscious mind. That's what's been true in my reality. If you didn't grow up with those ideas, right? Most people didn't. And the way to know what kind of ideas about money are in your subconscious mind is to just look at your life the way it is today. Whatever you have going on financially in your life right now is what you believe you deserve. So for me, I look at my life and I'm like, oh, I believe I deserve this. This is great. But I mean, at different periods in my life, or maybe in your life, there have been times where I was like, oh man, I was selling CDs at the thrift store. I have a program for your subconscious mind. And that's really what it is, right? Because your subconscious mind and your brain is like a computer that's running software and program that was installed up to age 6. That's where most people are living from. So I figured out how to change my fear of traveling and my fear of change and trying new things by using self-hypnosis. And I know that if you have any fears in your life that you're trying to overcome, I can help you. So click that link below as well. I have been working more on my description section of my YouTube videos, so I have a lot more resources down there for you. So make sure you go down, check them out. I also have a free section on my website now where I just have like resources that helped me get through like all of the crazy stuff I've been through in my life, from the horrible childhood trauma that I suffered. So if you're interested and you need help or like support, whatever your income level, go to the free resources section on my website. I've got it linked below. I have also still been blown away from the sales of my ebook, I Thought I Was White, Free Yourself from Racial Narratives and Live Well While the Haters Stay Mad. Right, that's in the Too Hot for YouTube section on my website. So I've got that link below. It's really controversial, but it's like true, absolutely crazy, funny, and inspiring stories from my life around race. So I know a bunch of you are loving that now, and it's an audio book. So that was really fun for me to record. I've been doing a lot more things with audio lately. I've been doing remote work for voiceovers. You guys know I have experience with that. So yeah, I have so much information to be sharing here on my channel. Anyone who's interested in life, love, YouTube money, and magic, I'm so happy to share that here with you all. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.